Yesterday you factored by grouping. Today you're going to find the roots of a quadratic equation by factoring. So the first thing we want to do is we want to put the function in standard form, which is this form right here, and we want to set it equal to 0. So let's take this function here, 2x squared minus 12x plus 18, set it equal to 0. And then we're going to pull out the GCF, just like yesterday. Sometimes there will be one, sometimes there may not be one. So we're going to pull out a GCF, which is 2 here. And then we're going to do x squared minus 6x plus 9 equals 0. Once we get this far, we're going to divide both sides by the GCF that we pulled out if it doesn't have an x with it. And now that leaves us with x squared minus 6x plus 9 equals 0. Okay, over here, it says we want to do factors of a times c that sum to b. And the reason why we want to do that, we have 3 terms here. If we change them into 4 terms, we know how to factor by grouping. So let's do that. We want factors of a times c. This is your a, this is your b, and this is your c. So a times c would be 1 times 9. We're just going to make a little table here. That's sum to b, which is negative 6. All right, usually what I do is I just start counting. Factors are numbers that will divide a number and not be a decimal or a fraction, so they'll be integers. So what I do is I can say, okay, I know 1 will divide 9, so this equals 9. So 1 and 9 will give me 9. 3 and 3 will give me 9. But I also want them to add up to negative 6. So that means I need to have some negatives. Well, if I look here and I make this a negative and this a negative, when I multiply, I get a positive 9, which is what I need. And when I add, I get a negative 6. So this is the combination that I need. Now, the whole reason that we did this, remember I keep saying math is a lot about rewriting. I'm going to rewrite this middle term. We're going to write b in terms of the factors. So we're going to write x squared, and instead of writing minus 6x, I'm going to write minus 3x, and then plus 9. So this still is the same as this up here, equals 0. And now we can factor by grouping. So we're underlining each one here, looking at them 2 at a time. Here I can pull out an x, and I'm left with x minus 3. Always bring this sign down, and I can divide by negative 3 here. So that's going to be x minus 3. Okay, now I'm going to group again. So we have x, this is the same as it is here. We're going to pull out the identical parentheses, so x minus 3, and when I do that I'm going to cross them off, and what I have left goes in the second set of parentheses. Okay, this is where we stopped yesterday. What we're going to do now is we're going to solve. We're going to find out the values that will make this whole equation equal to 0. So I'm going to set each factor equal to 0 and solve for x. So I have x minus 3 equals 0, and I set that one x minus 3 equals 0. So x is going to equal 3 here and also here. Now they're not always going to be the same, but in this case they are. And then we can check to see if the roots make sense with the equation, if they make the equation equal to 0. So we started with h of x up here. So let's try h of 3. We should get 0 equals 2 times 3 squared minus 12 times 3 plus 18. Okay, so remember, do your exponents first. So this is going to be 2 times 9 minus, that's going to give us 36, and then plus 18. So that'll be 18 minus 36 plus 18. So 18 and 18 is 36. We subtract 36, so h of 3 equals 0. So we know we did it right. We should be able to plug those into our function and get a 0. just need to move that up a little bit. There we go.